Welcome back to HealthWise. With us is Dr. Carl Gonsoulin. And Doc, we were talking about teeth in general and Halloween and stuff, but let's talk about what happens if your kid comes to you and say, "Oh, Mom, my tooth hurts when I bite down," or, and a lot of times because of the hard candies and stuff like that, maybe they didn't notice it until they bit down on this hard piece of candy or whatever. I guess we need to start first with why would they have tooth pain? What are some of the reasons why?
Well, there are several reasons why you could have a tooth pain going on. The main thing was they probably have a cavity. Okay, maybe it didn't show because until they had a high concentration of the sugar there, or maybe that the actual hard candy broke something, or made it evident. And you definitely should get them seen right away. Okay, it's not going to get better with time. It's not going to go away. It's something there that's causing the problems there. And so something needs to be done about it before it gets to be beyond repair and cause some serious things. So you definitely should bring them to the dentist as soon as you can, get an emergency appointment, and then get seen and find out what it is. It may be nothing. Sometimes there's a tooth it's a baby tooth that's getting ready to be lost. It's not quite loose enough yet. You bite on something hard enough, now it gets loose, and you think, oh my God, there's something going on here. Well, find out. You don't want to have to guess about this. You could guess right, but there's too many chances of guessing wrong. So get competent advice, get it looked over and seen exactly what's going on, and then it can be treated before it can get out of hand.
And most times, somebody says, "Oh, I don't want to have to go," but most insurances, they give you 2 free cleanings and checkups or something like that. So, it probably won't cost anything to go and, to the out of pocket for them to go check anyway and get a cleaning or, get an examination. They probably do most times than not. Anyway.
Well, we're glad there is dental insurance. It does help out with the expenses, and we're happy for that. Okay. But something still has to be done, because that child's going to be hurting, and if it's hurting now, a chance it's going to hurt again and probably get worse. And sometimes, if the tooth is hurting because it could abscess, and you don't know how bad the infection can get, and sometimes it can get to be quite serious. So it's not a scare tactic. We just don't want these children hurting, and need something done about it before it gets to be a serious problem.
An abscess, you're saying that, and you don't want to scare the parents, but it's actually putting poison in the bloodstream, so it is serious, and like you said, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse if it's an abscess. But we were just. Another thing probably we need to think about is with the kids, like sports. We talked about that once before, you and I. Even even being Halloween, what if they trip on why they've got these masks on, they can't see that well. They can't see if something's on the sidewalk and they trip and fall, hit their tooth. That's another problem that comes up.
Definitely, it's very hard to tell just looking at a tooth what damage there is to it. It may look just fine, it may look worse than it is, and so a lot of times we need to take a look, see what's going on, make sure it could make a difference of whether or not the tooth can be saved or not. If they're seen quickly, definitely if you knock out a permanent tooth, you definitely want to get that taken care of right away, or a baby tooth, And so any kind of injury like that should be attended to as soon as possible. And it might be difficult to find somebody Halloween night, but definitely the next morning you better get, I'd certainly recommend it being taken care of.
Right.
And but again, just for the parents, take a look at the costumes. Make sure the mask, make sure the eyes are not, the vision is not hampered so that they can see where they're going. When they're going on a path to a house, make sure there's good enough lighting where they can see where they're going. Kind of hold them back from running too much.
Right.
And so they don't trip on something, and try to prevent the accident from happening in the first place. But if something does happen, it should be attended to as soon as possible.
Right. And like you said too, lighting is always good to have. I notice some of the kids now, the parents they carry like not flashlights but little lanterns or something, so something to give a little light out.
There are lots of ways, and just common sense and things you can do to help prevent, just make it a safe and fun time, and a little light or something, a little bit of pre-treatment. I mean trick-or-treat talk, so they know what to do,
right.
and a little bit of supervision can make a big difference.
And actually, I notice a lot of cities now are starting, because we do it here in Opelousas, they have one little place where, like ours is at the little village, the tourist center, where they can go from house to house, and so it's kind of making it safer for them, and all the stuff is given out by the city, so it's not like you still got to check it, but not as like it's a
right.
stranger.
There's much more supervision there. You can control the environment a lot better.
Yeah,
that's a very good idea.
And the parents are going, because I know when I was a kid, our parents mine didn't go with me. They stayed home and gave out candy.
Right.
So we kind of walked the neighborhood. But I was a little bit older at the time. So.
Sure.
But, well, okay, Doc, we're going to talk a little bit more about it after we take this brief break for our sponsors, and we'll come back and talk to Dr. Carl some more.
Okay, people, you know the drill.
Generosity, pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.